Good morning.
Hey guys, welcome back, and of course, thank you so much for staying with us here on Tobago Updates Television. It's a sporting morning here in Tobago and here on this wonderful station, your station for sport. And of course, we just had a conversation there with the guys from FC Phoenix, and we're still talking football. I have with me a good friend, the president of the Tobago Football Association, Mr. Kenny Alfred. Some know him as Everton, but we're going to call him Mr. Alfred this morning. All right, Mr. Alfred, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Marcus.
Yes,
Thanks for having me.
I expected you to be in your TFA blazer thing this morning.
No, we're still on the field, so
still...
I'm going to leave the blazer for later.
I mean, wonderful FA Cup finals last weekend. I mean, over 2,000 persons. I mean, some may say more than 2,000. The entire covered stand
was filled.
Ram out.
And I want to start off by saying thanks to all those supporters that came out. It was really nice to see that the sport is growing on the island. The success of the two teams, I guess, would have played a part, as well as, of course, our promotion efforts. So a lot of thanks has to go to that event, and hopefully the sport will grow. Of course, I also need to offer my congratulations to FC Phoenix on their achievement as well.
Fantastic,
So it says that we're heading in the right direction in Tobago.
And I mean, the first FA Cup final since we had this dreaded COVID, right? I mean, 14 goals in total scored. I mean, the first game we had 7-1. That's Georgia beating
Golden
Lane 7-1, and then we had a free situation, and then we went to penalties. Only $40 to get in.
Very comfortable price for the patrons. I don't think we had any complaints about that.
Entertainment.
And of course, they enjoyed the entertainment. And of course, there were events within the event
for the
spectators. So we had the kickoff, and that was really well appreciated by the fans. It was nice to hear the response when the ball hit the back of the net, and when it didn't as well. So the fans know that they have something to look forward to. They have to up their game when they come into the park.
And I know you are perfectionists. I mean, your thoughts on the whole package in terms of the finals. Could it have gone any better for you?
There's always room for improvement in whatever we do. We have to be very honest. Those are little minor things that I don't think people would be aware of it in terms of organizing an event such as football. Because I want to believe that the real improvement for me this year has really been off the field, which will reflect on the field eventually.
I must say that.
I think that the effort by some of these clubs was really nice. During the season, we'd have been sharing videos in terms of how you need to organize your change room, preparing your players, getting your players to venue on time, so that they can now mentally be ready when they walk out onto the field. So for me, the success really has been off the field, and it is reflecting on the field for some of these clubs, because you're really seeing it in the organization. But it is a work in progress. It is a work in progress.
And I totally agree with you in terms of the off the field administrative stuff, because I've seen an increase in terms of population of social media, in terms of populating social media with content for Tobago Football Association. And
of course, we have to share the information, and that has been fantastic. And I really need to express my thanks and support for that lady who's seeing about our social media aspect, Miss Avian Park. She's doing a fantastic job. I have to say thanks to her and much blessings. I hope she stays with us.
And that actually trickled down to some of the clubs as well, because regularly I will see Sideys post stuff, Plymouth Stokeyville, you know, that's really outstanding.
And I would like to encourage all the other clubs to establish a Facebook account. Let your community know what you're doing. Not just the results of your game. You need to get involved with your community, because that is where you're going to build your support base. That is where you're going to get the youngsters within your community to now feel happy to now join your club. Because one of the things that we want to embark on next year is youth programs. You know, we continue to work on developing coaches on the island, and I guess we'll speak about that a little later. But it's all in a part of a process that involves the development of the Tobago players, and hopefully we get them on the world stage.
And a final word on the FA Cup. Best FA Cup finals for you?
I still want to go back to the first FA Cup finals that we ever had at the White York Stadium. I think that was Charlottesville versus St. School.
I was at that final.
That was still crazy. Stands up.
But
this one was really good, very competitive, keen interest, and when you have teams coming back after going 2 goals down, demonstrates that they have some character, you know, within the club, and I think that's one of the reasons why they eventually prevailed, because they have that. I mean, that goalkeeper that came on A young man,
Yeah.
inspiration to the
Yeah,
community.
Jonathan Thomas.
Yeah, he did really well because he brought off a couple saves before we even got into the penalty kick. So really nice.
And in terms of the injury, I mean, you never want to see that on a football field. You know, a player going down in that manner. Have you had any word from the club?
Well, yeah, I was at the hospital after 1 a.m. that morning
Right.
because I mean, my position is that I have to. All the clubs are my club.
Yes.
You know, and the players as well. So I was at the hospital, had dialogue with his mom, trying to console and encourage him. So the young man is out of the hospital and he's doing fairly well. But there's still some work to be done. Trying to get some more information on the history of that incident, and hopefully we'll make sure he's okay.
Yeah, and I want to shout out the first responders there in terms of the players on the field of play. The Saidis player rushed his aid. And all the other players that would have played their part. I mean, Mommy left the stands and she came down. I mean, a mother's love, eh?
Yeah. You can't stop that. You can't stop that. She was on the field.
Yes, I wish him a speedy recovery. In terms of the league now, because I saw league matches would have resumed. Tell me about the current standings and where we are at with the league.
All right, so we've entered the second round of the conference stages. We started immediately after the FA Cup final. It's business as usual. And we have had about 5 games thus far in both the Eastern and Central conferences. So the standings now would reflect in the Eastern Conference. I think Georgia, they have leapfrogged Saidis by 3 points. They are followed closely by Belgrade.
And they play the same amount of games, Georgia and Saidis?
No, Georgia and Saidis, they have both played 6 games. Belgrade and Gold City are following next, but they are both on 10 points, having played 7 games each. So clearly we have a little competition in there. Roxborough is now, they would have just recently won their first game in the season. They would have been drawing all the other games. So they are also in contention. So we're seeing that there's some interest in Eastern Conference in terms of the standings. Then when you go to the Central Conference, then you have Stoke Vale leading 13 points. They are slightly ahead of Signal Hill United, having played a game less. That is Stoke Vale. Bertil Sinclair Sports Academy, which I think is one of the surprises for this season.
Right, that's a youngsters.
A very young club, and it shows the quality of the experience of Bertil Sinclair as he continues to work with those lads.
Fantastic.
So they're in 3rd position, followed by Leeds from Wim, that evergreen team that will always be there.
Leeds United.
And then when you go to the Western Conference, Canby Mount Pleasant, they are leading from Eagles, another new club, a very young club, very vibrant.
Out of Scarborough IC team.
Yeah, that's Scarborough IC team. And then you have Bethel and the Phoenix B team making up the top 4. So what is going to happen in this conference is that we're going to have the top 2 teams from each conference qualifying automatically. And the 2 best 3rd place teams joining them.
That's for the Big 8.
For the Big 8. And then in the Big 8, we're going to have 2 groups of 4. Because last year when we played a straight knockout, we felt it wasn't enough football for the youngsters because we need to have people playing. So what we're going to do, have them in 2 groups of 4. They play each other. And then the top 2 teams would advance to the knockout phase.
So how do you divide the groups? How are you going to divide the groups?
So we're going to have a draw. So what we're going to do, we're going to have 3 pools. You're going to have 3 winners, of course, 3 second-place teams. So we're going to have a draw. So you would end up with, in one pool, 2 winners. And then in the next pool, you'll have 2 second-place teams. And you then have 1 3rd place.
And at no time, 2 teams in a group that win a group, they
won't meet. They won't meet in that.
Okay. But they may meet in semi-finals or final.
Well, of course, if you qualify, you go forward.
And when are you looking to complete the season?
We're looking at December. I think it's the 15th or 16th, somewhere there. Which is around the same time we finished last year.
And it's going to culminate in another finals at the Dwight York Stadium.
Another finals at the Dwight York Stadium. So fans have something to look forward to. And most of those big games will be at the stadium as well. Weather and all conditions permitted.
And persons interested in getting to see the matches, what days are you having matches and time?
Well, we generally play on a Sunday, Wednesday, and a Friday. Of course, we're sharing now with colleges the days and the number of officials that we have on the island. So those are our match days. When we have little challenges, for example, this weekend we have Blue Food. Then we have to now accommodate. So we're playing 1 game on a Monday, just to make up, because that's really the rest day for the referees. So we're gonna play on a Monday 1 game to try to facilitate those guys who want to go across to Blue Food, because We can't, for example, have Castara playing.
Because I know you want to go Bluefoot too. You're going to Bluefoot as well.
Yeah, well, the whole place is blue. You know, so that we have to support.
Yeah, support.
We have to support, of course.
Yeah, like that one.
So you have to do that.
Yeah, and before we go, Mr. Alfred, right, and we Candice and they waiting for Good Morning Tobago. I can't let you go without talking about, because I know Mr. Alvin Cornell, he's on the island.
Anton Cornell.
Anton Cornell, sorry. Technical director of TTFA, and he treats with coaching. Tell me about the coaching course that we currently experience.
So that, and I want to go back to the start. When we took up office, our mantra was development as one thing. So what we have is the second group of coaches on the island who are now engaged in a C-license coaching course. I think we have 16 or 17 individuals, including one female, and I'm happy to say that.
That's
in
good.
The coaching program. Last year, I think we had about 21 or 22 individuals who completed their program.
Really good.
So what we're doing, we're expanding the network of coaches that can service Tobago as an island. Later on this year, we intend to have a B-license coaching course. So we're going to upgrade on the guys who did the program last year. So what we're really trying to do is to develop that network of coaches who can now service the island and hopefully service Tobago. Because I'll tell you this, one of our plans is to next year have Tobago teams at youth and senior involved in games, because the jump from Club Tobago to getting onto the national team is a little steep. So we need to bridge that gap, and in that light, we want to encourage Corporate Tobago and Trinidad to get involved and back us. And let me also say before we go, we need to also encourage our youngsters to get involved in officiating. Because we really need referees on the island. It's something that I started a discussion with the Assistant Secretary for Sports. He's also concerned about that area. So hopefully within the next month or two, you will see a rollout of a proposal, not just for football, but we're looking at other sports, including cricket. Yeah, to get some more officials, because we need them in all facets, all sporting engagements. So that's really what we have working in behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, the time is never enough when we chat, Mr. Alfred, but I got to leave it there this morning. I want to thank you so much for coming through. And congratulations once again on hosting our wonderful FA Cup finals. And I'm looking for the end of the league football. And of course, once again, congratulations to Stockyville and Sidees for getting to the finals, but Stockyville, of course, for winning it. Once again, congratulations to FC Phoenix. Yeah, my team. Well, we're doing better than Manchester United these days, but yeah. Let me say thank you so much for joining us this morning. And of course, the sporting segment of Tobago Updates Television. I'm going to throw you over to Candice Jackson. And of course, I think she has some more sports for you guys this morning, you know. Yeah, so don't forget to share the live, and stay tuned. See you again next week.